Dick decided he didn't want to do it anymore, and then Pat and I kept going. And it's amazing how much just sitting in the seat you can learn about gardening. I didn't know anything about chemicals. I didn't know anything about the trees. And if you just sit here long enough, you're like a sponge. You start to... Got Richard Michaelis. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Morning, Denny, Allison, Terry. How we doing?
Great.
Do you know how nice it is to be in this studio without Pat Sullivan, Richard? Oh, my gosh.
Are you in heaven?
Oh, my gosh. and I got two angels sitting here with me. Hey, I've been meaning to ask you, when we talk about disasters, I had a fella hit a landscaping. I have some raised irrigation hoses, and he happened to clip it with the tractor. And of course, it busted off, and then it activates the pump, and this thing's shooting 15 feet in the air. But this was out in the landscape on my mound. Mm-hmm. So it ran for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, and I finally got out there, got it shut down, and got a cap on it, and got it stopped. And I started to think, Richard, how many times does that happen in a home? What in the world happens when that much water comes into a home? You guys still do that type of work, don't you?
Yeah, we stay busy with that, and probably the primary expectation right away is to stop the water. I mean, turn off the water, get a plumber involved to stop the flow of the water. Yeah. But then we come in with our commercial drying equipment. We'll extract the water, put drying equipment like a dehumidifier system and fans, but it can be a mess. I think sometimes water is more invasive than the other areas that we help with, which might be smoke and fire and things like that.
Well, then you have to deal with the molds and the afterwards. I'm assuming that is part of the process.
Well, that's the primary reason. Time is of the essence, I think. Not only is the water damaging personal property and real property, but if you wait too long, and generally we've got an envelope of 24, 48 hours, 72 hours before mold or microbial growth might be an issue, but that is a great concern with water. So any of the listeners that experience some of those water situations or emergencies, time is of the essence, so try to get it dried down so you don't have a bigger problem with the mold or microbial growth.
And Richard, I cannot see an ad or I cannot see a news story about a car going into a building that I don't think of Michaelis Corporation. Yeah, so have you had any of those recently?
We have, and we stay busy with those type of incidents. And generally, it's sometimes it's a medical situation, but a lot of times it just seems to be maybe, I don't want to say a police pursuit, but something like that where somebody's losing control and striking a building, and it happens a lot more than you would think.
Oh, Richard Michaelis joins us. Richard, we're honored that you sponsor the show. I don't know if we tell you that enough. First of all, we're always surprised, but we're
surprised and grateful.
So surprised and grateful.
Well, Danny, Allison, it goes both ways. I mean, you're a great spokesperson, I guess is a better word to use, and we're honored to be a part of the program.
You know what?
Your listeners are some of the best.
You know what? I have never hesitated to give out your name. You took care of my neighbors across the street. You've taken care of distant family. But and for listeners, if you need somebody to come out and give you an honest opinion and not take advantage of you in any way whatsoever, don't you dare forget the Michaelis Corporation. Go ahead, Richard.
I was just going to say, well, thank you, and we'll continue to do that. So please, we will take care of any your listeners or any referrals you send our way, because that's just what we do.
That's just what you do. That's Richard Michaelis from the Michaelis Corporation. Water storms, fire and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. It's 844-FIX-INDY.